Hey, friends and podcast listeners, before we get into the show today, I want to share with you a random fact about the feather duster. So, apparently, the correct way to use the feather duster is before vacuuming your room. So, using the static energy from the feather, you collect dust at different heights and angles. We will then sweep them to the ground, then start the vacuum process. Welcome to episode 8 of Misfits. This is the podcast where I speak to the rebels, the troublemakers, and some cool folks in Singapore. Try to see things as how they see it and learn from them. So some of this individual include Dr. Loretta Chen, who is the consultant for the Kingdom of Bhutan. And we also have Kevin So, who is one of the most sought after ad men in Singapore, quit his job at the peak of his career, and brought his son Dylan to the TED stage, not once, but twice. Our guests for today are two ladies who are the founders of a social cultural magazine, Staple. Other than the fact that they are all both beautiful and intelligent, they are also 21 years old and living in different time zone while creating this magazine. So we explore into the world of publishing, finding content, curating them and selling them. Explore the idea of being a youth and maybe why one should also work before entering the university. So without further ado,
welcome everybody on this mini episode of Misfits. So the reason why I say this episode is mini because it's only audio, so we wouldn't be able to see how beautiful or monstrous looking these folks are. Actually, the real reasons is because I met these folks 4 days ago, and they're leaving next week to the UK. So we scrambled around and we decided to just do it. So we're here today at Liba Studio. Aaron kindly allowed us to use the space. So thank you, Aaron. And so you must be wondering who are these elusive folks that I'm speaking of. So let me describe them to you. So today, two very lovely, young, and I mean young because they only recently turned adult, and courageous ladies. So in front of me, two of them. They had recently launched their magazine Staple at the deck. So we have Clara and Emily. Is it?
Hello, hi. We're very new to
Yeah,
this,
sorry, we're very new.
Yeah. So how do you feel after the launch of the event at the deck?
We're very happy with the turnout. They actually a lot of people turn up, and we actually have an installation and also a few music acts. So people actually stayed on for those, and it was a nice catch up for a lot of people from the creative industries. And we also got to meet a lot of the people who have been sending in emails or DMs and messages through Facebook and Instagram who are interested in the magazine. So it's always really nice to put a face to a name. So that's great. But moving on from the launch, we actually have to settle a lot of things financially, and also because we are going abroad. Two of us are actually living abroad. Myself and Ping, we're actually studying in the UK. So we'll be leaving next week. Actually, this week. We'll be leaving this week. So we actually have to prepare for the next issue because we are biannual. So the next issue will be launched next spring.
Right.
And the theme for the next issue will be the Objects of Delight.
Objects of Delight.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're actually settling stuff for the next issue, and also business-wise, we want to make sure that all the numbers are correct, everything is telling, our stocks are right.
Inventory is driving us crazy as usual.
Yeah.
So like I well, like the next question is the big one. So like, why do you agree to come down for this episode to do this podcast? I asked this question because partly I find it, my actions to be rather random on the day at Bravery, and also pleasantly surprised you guys agreed to it. How do you guys feel like on the other end of this interaction?
I think for us, we are constantly looking for opportunities. So we thought that it would be quite a good opportunity to actually speak about what the magazine means to us, and the very fact that we think not many people are in our position to be able to publish a magazine at our age, and also perhaps they would like to do something that's meaningful to them, but they
Right.
feel that they have a lot of struggles or a lot of difficulties to reaching their goals. So we thought it would be quite interesting to share about our story. Hopefully it will reach to those people, and those people will feel inspired to do something creative or interesting that they have been wanting to do. I think that's for
Yeah,
the both of
definitely.
us. Yeah.
But also because we really like podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Do you even went to the website to just see
Yeah, we
the
did.
legitimacy of
correct. Because like because we met in the cafe.
yeah,
And then
at
we were
Bravery.
waiting for Uber for around like 5 minutes. Then you came up and told us that you had a podcast.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I need to explain this story a little bit. I was working at the cafe, and then this three ladies stand up and leave the cafe, all holding a staple, a bag, and it's like, how many times do you have three person carrying the same tote bag? So I was like, okay, they must be with the magazine, and also I think on the launch. So I went up to say, like, great job on the launch, and then I went back working, and they went to wait for their Uber.
Yeah.
And then this great idea struck me that, hey, maybe we should do it.
So we're like, yes, why not? Because I think we're quite spontaneous people too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very open to trying new things.
Yeah.
So we've never done a podcast before. So why not? Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope this is going to be enjoyable for you.
Yes, hopefully.
So maybe before we start, maybe both of you ladies like to give an introduction of yourself, and so we can get familiarized with your voice, and maybe a random fact, your name, and a random fact of yourself. So maybe I'll start with, my name is Brian, and I ate 2 eggs and chickpeas this morning.
So I'm Emily. I am supposedly the marketing director of Staple, but I do many other things within Staple. We are pretty much like interns of Staple. Yeah, so I'm currently working in K+, which is a curatorial space in Scott Square. And one random fact about me is that I have this bad habit of sleeping really late. And I sleep really late, as in like 3 a.m. Yeah, even when I'm very tired, I can't sleep unless I run through certain things in my mind before
Before
I
going
go to bed. Yeah, and it's a very bad habit because I can be very tired, but I still have to run through those things in my mind.
It's borderline insomnia.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it like
I
a
think so.
de-meditation process that you go through to calm yourself before going to bed?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
there's always constantly a lot of things running through my mind, but it's more of like very random things like, okay, what do I have to do like tomorrow morning, or like
If I have to
how
say,
has
'cause,
today
like,
went?
she's a very introspective person. Emily is a very
Yeah,
introspective
quite a
person. So a lot of times, like, her mind is always clouded with thoughts. And you can
Yeah.
think, like, even though when I'm talking to her and see that she's thinking about something else also at the same
Oh,
time.
it's
And
very obvious.
and she just has like a lot of things on her mind. So I
Yeah.
think like at the end of the day, like thinking about what she has to do the next day helps with like, clearing some of those
Yes.
thoughts.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's like gathering a lot of data throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, I have to like kind of like sort them into boxes and to make sure that tomorrow I can function well again. In that sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so my name is Clara. I am the editor-in-chief of Staple Magazine. I'm actually a full-time student, so I'm studying in the UK. I study history of art with a minor in material studies at UCL, so that's the University College of London. So a fun fact about me, the very first sport that I was taught to learn was actually ice skating, even though I live in Singapore, because I live in the east, so there was a skating rink at Kallang, so it was very nearby my place, and my dad thought like, oh, ice skating seems like an interesting sport, like we should
Yeah.
send our kid to go learn ice skating. And I was only 5 years old. I couldn't even ride a bike, I couldn't swim, but the very first thing my parents thought that I should learn was ice skating. Because definitely we live in Singapore.
Yeah,
we have
so
lots
cold.
of opportunities to skate. So yeah, I think that's one of the interesting facts. And when I tell
Yeah.
people that they don't believe me, they're like, are you sure? I'm
Yeah,
like,
Clara's
yeah.
not very sporty. You know?
I don't look very athletic.
She's not. She's totally not. And the interesting part is that she not only knows ice skating, she does like
Yeah,
martial arts before.
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, but you couldn't tell like from
You
the
couldn't
machines,
tell from the
right?
way I
Like,
looked. Yeah. So I did wushu when I was in primary school.
Is it 长拳 or?
Yeah, I did Changquan. And I also swam competitively, and then I was also in dance for the longest time. So
What kind of dance?
contemporary dance, yeah, and then Chinese dance for a while. Yeah, so it's bite-sized information about myself.
Yeah. Well, ice skating. I mean, yeah, correct. I mean, are you still good at it? I mean, if it were to bring you to the ring,
I can make my way from one end to the other.
with a jump, maybe sometimes.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Okay, so maybe a quick story of yourself, each of you guys, from your childhood to arriving at adulthood. Just a quick 3 minutes, whoever that wants to. So I mean, Clara, you spoke about your ice skating adventures.
I guess I'll go ahead. I'll
Okay,
start.
why don't you continue that story?
I actually have a younger brother. So growing up, I was always very active. So I was sort of dragged into doing wushu because of my brother. Because in my primary school was pretty well known for martial arts, and my brother was really good at it. So he was actually invited to trial for the national team. Yeah, so he's pretty good at it, and they were lacking of female players in the team. So they were like, so everyone in the team who has a sister has to join the school team. And the excuse was that, we need it for a performance, and it was our school's 100th anniversary. So I was from Tao Nan School, yeah. And I was like, okay, fine, it was just for one performance, like, let's do it. And after the performance, they were like, the competition is coming up. And since you already know the routine, you should totally sign up for the competition. Your brother's doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So I got dragged into it, and I was always very occupied when I was in primary school, and I had really short attention span. I think my parents were really worried, yeah, because I always missed classes because I was always so occupied with my CCAs. I was in dance, I was in wushu, and then I was in public speaking.
Oh, at the same time.
Yeah, and I was also a prefect, all at the same time, and I did swimming. And so, like, a lot of times I missed my afternoon classes because, like, I had to go for performances or training. And my parents are always like, what are you doing in school? Yeah, I just spent all my time on my CCA. So after that, I continued dancing, and I actually DSA'd into my secondary school. So I entered my secondary school through dance, yeah, and I stopped dancing after that. I actually went to a polytechnic, and I did arts business management, where I met Emily and Ping, who are also part of Staple magazine. So we all met in polytechnic while studying arts business management. And while we were there, there's actually 2 different specializations: performing arts and visual arts. So the 3 of us actually studied visual arts. So yeah, so that's how we met. And that's like a brief story of
Okay.
how we met.
yeah, how we met too.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
then
My turn. I think what Clara said about me is very true. Is that I'm quite an introspective person. I'm quite reserved and quite quiet. I suppose I think since I was a child. So I think I spend most of my time alone, but not so much in a, how like people might see being alone as in something that's very like depressing or something that's not very like, it's quite sad. But like, I think since young I've always enjoyed being alone, and like after I grew older I become a lot more extroverted. And then after that, when I was in secondary 3, I remember I visited a National Museum, and then that was how I decided that I really wanted to work in a museum. Yeah, then afterwards, I like Clara said, I met her in arts business management because that was the way for me to actually be closer to the arts and for
Yeah.
wanting to be working in a museum.
Yeah.
So over there, I met Clara, and we worked on a few school projects, and we realized we can work really well together, including
Yeah.
Pink.
Yeah,
So after that, we decided to
come together.
come together.
And also because all of us have very similar interests. And one of the reasons why Staple is a social cultural magazine is because we feel like our interests are not limited to just the arts, even though we met in like arts business management
Yeah.
course. Yeah, so we are very interested in other cultural activities, and it's not just fine arts or visual arts, it's also theatre, dance,
Yeah.
books,
And the thing about us
documentary.
is that we are constantly having very, I would say, quite interesting conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason, as in how Staple even came about, is that we were just having a discussion, a random conversation in Coffee Bean.
Yeah.
And then we're just discussing about our thoughts about life
Oh,
in general. And we were only like, how
I think we were 18 then.
18, yeah, we're just talking about school.
18 is a good age to talk about life.
Life, yeah. So it's kind of like a cross path for a lot of people at that age.
Yeah.
So just thinking about what we're going to do after we graduate, just thinking about what we like and what is it
all the
that
similarities that
we
we
have.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what brings us and our friends together. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the questions that we always ask ourselves is
Yeah.
why do like certain group of people just tend to gather together
Yeah.
or work together?
Yeah.
And we find that we have a very interesting group of friends and they're not limited to people who are working in the arts. I have friends who just started a fashion label called Inventory. So they're two sisters, and then we also have friends in music. Our friend from the same course recently started his own record label.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he only releases his music on tape as of now. It's called Middle Class Cigars. And so we thought like we have a really interesting group of friends and an interesting pool of people, and we all like reading and writing.
Yes, we all like reading and writing.
Yeah.
And
even-
talking and
yeah.
about very big topics in life that we don't have answers to. And I think that's how Staple came about.
Yeah, we felt like we had a lot of questions.
About life and
Yeah.
about
Or the
things
world
about-
around
yeah,
us.
just the world around us.
Yeah.
And we want to address all these questions in a magazine form.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that we think that all these questions, it must not be just us thinking about all these questions.
Yeah.
It must be questions that people around the world ask as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why Staple, it's a platform for us to reach out to all these people also.
Yeah.
To just to be part of a greater dialogue
Yeah.
that the world is having. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how we see.
Yeah.
I'm
And
curious to know then, like, what is the topics or questions that you were asking at that Coffee Bean?
Oh.
Could you remember?
Like example, youth. So one of the like we said, at 18 you're at a transitional stage. So you're sort of like becoming an adult and stuff like that. That's why our very first theme is the dizziness of youth. And so we are wondering what other people feel about that. And for
Yeah,
myself,
coming of age.
yeah, I felt like I've never really had like I was always treated as a young adult by my parents. So
It's very
yeah.
modern
Yeah.
parenting.
so like my parents always like, oh, these are your responsibilities.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a generation thing. I mean, my parents are the same as Clara's parents as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we always wondered what youth means to other people, and I feel like we were talking to a few other friends. I was talking to a few other friends before I had this conversation with Emily and Ping, and they were saying that they felt like there's this sudden need to grow up, to do a lot of adulting, you know,
Yeah.
to like manage your own finances,
Yes, going to the bank in the morning.
yeah,
And then
stuff like that. And so like, but both of us, like the three of us, felt like for us, youth was a very different experience, and among the three of us, youth was a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we wanted to know like what other people thought of youth, and also because media or like films always have a stereotype look at at youth. Sorry. So like youth is always romanticized. Yeah, it's like a nostalgic era. People always look back, and you're always
think that youth
great.
is the best time of their life.
And then while you were in it, what were you thinking?
I was just thinking, is it really
Sucks, I
gonna
gotta
be
go to
the
the bank.
best time of my life? Because I'm struggling so much in school, and then I'm just thinking about all these big questions. I just don't know why all these adults keep telling me it's the best time of your life. You should enjoy it. But I'm just like, okay, I don't know if that's true for me.
Or the fact that a lot at 18, what you feel is like a lot of adults question the decisions that you make,
Yeah.
or you feel like, oh, but a lot of times at 18 you think you know what you're doing, but perhaps people who are more senior, they're worried if you know what you're doing, and sometimes like youth is looked upon as something that is very reckless, as a period where you're trying to find yourself and stuff like that. But what if not all youths feel this way? What if youth is not always experienced this way? And so, like, for one of the articles that I feel like really stood out to me is actually the very first article in a magazine called Dadu. Yeah, so it's this guy from SOAS. He actually sent in this article and he talks about Boyhood, which is a great film. But he talks about how he couldn't
great
relate
film.
to it because he didn't grow up in an American suburban family. And even though he grew up in Europe, his culturally and ethnically, his Bangladeshi British. So his grandparents were migrants, and therefore, because of his cultural background, he had a very different growing up experience that is not similar to his friends who are white or Europeans.
Yeah.
So he thought that there was a need to explore this kind of narratives outside of the mainstream. And a lot of times these are also being done, but maybe academically in like critical essays or stuff like that, but not in a way where it's relatable to people. And that's one of the reasons why he wanted to write this essay and share a little snippet about what happened in his youth. So I found that article really interesting. Like both of us really like it. Yeah.
Which is why that's like the first article.
No, first article.
Well, was there a decision that was there a split decision, or was that concise? Or everyone's like, this is the first article.
In terms of like deciding
Yeah.
where we slot in the articles,
okay.
mostly it's done by me.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, but I think everyone pretty much agreed that
Yeah,
we all
we
really
all
like
Okay.
that article.
Okay.
article.
Was that
Yeah.
your favorite article as well, Emily?
That's one of my favorite article in the
Yeah,
magazine.
quite a few. The interesting one that stood out. There's another
The thing
one.
is that all the submissions that we have received, and as in all the submissions we have agreed to be put in the magazine, they are all unique and intriguing in their own way. So in terms of favorite, I think like each one of them has their own like
our own favorites.
Yeah, our own favorites.
It's quite hard to pick.
Yeah.
And still, intriguing and interesting in a way that the few of us, we read a lot of magazines and we've never seen something that's similar, similar article to Dadu's house.
Cool. And how would you guys describe each other's personalities? Because you guys have been long time friends, right? And I mean, also the change of after coming to adulthood, was there a change in personality, or was it still quite the same?
Are we adults yet?
That's the
like
question.
yes.
I think the interesting about personality you brought up is Emily has an interest in the Myers-Briggs test.
Okay.
Have you heard of
Is it
it?
the INFJ kind of
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
I'm not a very. I know of it. I know of it.
That's what she reads up a lot. It's like her
No, but
pastime.
that's
Okay.
a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, so like
Do you try to hack it and
Hack it?
get different answers all the time?
I tried multiple times, but I always get the same answer for
Oh.
myself.
yeah, and we always talk about, because the few of us have done it and we know each of our personality type, we always talk about our personalities in relation to the test.
Yeah.
Because she knows so much about the test. Like when she meets
Oh
someone,
my
she'll be like, that person is definitely like a INTJ. I know
Yeah,
it
but,
for sure.
I definitely don't mean to like box them up into like
Yeah.
categories. But
Yeah.
it's just a very interesting like way of like seeing people sometimes. But of
Yeah.
course I don't, after someone tell me he's a INFJ, I don't like, okay, so you must be a certain
You must make certain choices.
yeah, you must
and
make
stuff
certain.
like
I think people are ultimately still unique and like
Yeah.
different. You
Yeah.
can't be boxed into like categories.
That's
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
it might
Yeah.
change too.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
might change
Yeah.
according to like
And the thing
environment.
is, all of us were actually very skeptical of personality tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all very skeptical, and
So only
Especially-
M was.
no, she's
Open.
skeptical too.
I'm skeptical.
But that's why you read more.
I enjoy
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
okay,
she
okay.
read more.
Skeptical, that makes me want to
Yeah,
like,
and so that's why but among all the tests that I've done, this is actually the most nuanced.
yeah.
And schools actually make you take it before like
Oh, is it?
applying. Yeah, my school
Yeah.
actually encouraged me to take it before applying for like my university course
Okay,
to see if like what I'm choosing is gonna fit my personality.
interesting.
It's slightly off. What I'm
Oh.
studying now is actually slightly off from what I'm.
But they don't make the
recommended.
decision for you.
Yeah,
you
they don't
make your
know.
own.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like I really feel like the test is it's the most nuanced that I've tried,
Mm.
and I think it makes a lot
Quite
of sense.
accurate,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yes,
to like logical, like analytical people like us. It
Us.
makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that's
yeah.
And so, will you say that you see each other as the test results is, or you see each other differently than the test result?
Differently, both ways.
Both
Definitely
ways,
both
yeah.
ways. I think what really stands out is that so they're with the test you actually get 4 alphabets.
Yeah.
So it's the I or E,
Mm.
which means you're introverted or extroverted.
Extroverted.
And then there's an N or S, which is
intuitive or sensing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
And then
there's a
F or T.
which is thinking or feeling, and then there's a J or P, which is judging or prospecting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So all of us have got a pretty similar
Similar.
combination.
okay.
And what is the greatest
Oh.
difference?
Oh, similar.
Is that both me and Emily and I, we are T's, and
Yeah.
Ping is an F. So we are
Oh.
thinking people, and she's
Yeah.
more of a feeling person.
Yeah, but on another end, Ping and I, we are J, judging, which doesn't really mean we are judgmental people.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It means
good to
something
clarify.
else,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's judging, which means we are people that likes to plan things ahead. We likes to have
Okay.
to-do lists, a
Yeah.
journal list, yeah. And
Yeah.
then on the other side,
I'm
Clara
a
is
P.
a prospecting, which is P. She's
Yeah.
more like
I work
go with the
outwards.
flow.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's more going with the flow and like not so much of like agenda. She's more flexible in the sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not to say we are inflexible.
Yeah.
Just,
and do you think
for-
that each other have changed a little bit throughout the years that you
Yeah,
guys know
definitely.
I think so.
for the better?
Yeah. For the better.
Always looking towards the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Better. I think
Yeah.
I can, like, as a friend, I can tell that both of them have grown up in ways. Yeah. And I think also because all of us, before we started university, so for Ping and myself,
Mm.
we actually worked full time. So I think working full time and being in like having a real job actually makes you grow up really fast.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Changes a lot of your perspectives.
Yeah.
Do you
And-
recommend that
Very
For-
recommend.
for getting a job really quickly before you go to uni?
I would recommend getting
Yes.
work experience.
Yes,
Definitely.
It
Yeah.
changes the way you see things.
Yeah. It put things into perspective.
Yeah, it does.
And
In
if,
what sense?
so for example, if you're at a place where you're graduating from junior college or polytechnic, you're not sure what you want to study or what you want to do in the future, I think working at a job actually puts a lot of things in perspective because you're getting your own income.
Mm.
You're no longer relying on your parents. So you know what is important to you, what do you really enjoy, and it's when you work with other people, what are the things that tick you off
yes.
that you might not have known, you know?
Mm.
And it's
Yeah.
only in a working environment that you find out all of this little nitty-gritty stuff. Yeah. So I think, like, for example, I was quite anxious about studying art history.
Yeah.
Because I've always been passionate about art.
We'll come to that.
Yeah. So, like, but at the same time, art history is a course that none of the local universities offer.
Oh,
It is offered at NTU right now as a minor.
minor.
Yeah, as a minor if you take English literature, so you can take it as a minor. But always studying something that's a humans based or social sciences based is always viewed as something that's not, like, you don't have a very bright future ahead of you
Yeah.
or as many financial opportunities
Mm.
or job prospects.
because what it is really is, I
Yeah.
mean, you go teach, right?
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
look that great, and that's what most Singaporean think. Like,
Yeah.
you just teach. Like, if you do psychology or philosophy, it's always seen as something that, oh, what are you gonna do with a philosophy degree?
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, and my parents were quite worried too, but they were always very supportive.
Okay.
So I mean, working at an art gallery. So I worked in an art gallery before starting university.
So you knew going to the art gallery you want to pursue art history
Yeah,
already.
correct.
And-
Yeah, I actually haven't applied.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah,
you
I
talked
started
about it with
working,
your
yeah,
parents,
correct,
and
yeah.
parents were worried.
So for the longest time, I knew I wanted to do art history.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, if this is what you really want to do, then go ahead, we'll support you.
Mm.
Yeah, we're fully supportive of what you want to do. And I think working at art gallery only made me more certain that I actually really want to do a course or an undergrad degree in art history because I know that's something that I'm really passionate about. Even though I have to work really, really long hours, the pay might not be as great, but I still feel happy and I still feel fulfillment. So that's why I think, like, getting a work experience is always very important because a lot of times we have a certain idealization of what a certain job might be like. So a lot of people think, like, oh, I might really enjoy working in a law firm, so let me go take like a law degree. And after like studying really hard for your law degree and you graduate with like a first class and you start working at a law firm, you realize that the environment doesn't suit you. Like, you know, it's a really cutthroat environment, it's not easy, the long hours, and then you start to think, like, should I have done that law degree then if like I had another interest in, say, like geography? Yeah. So I think like having a work experience put into context a lot of things. And also if you're uncertain if you really like something, and to know whether you really like something is when you're able to give your all and not complain about it or, you know, or think that you're making a lot of sacrifices. I think that your sacrifices are worth it.
So
Yeah.
in your sense, to get the job is really to test this assumption that, say,
Yeah.
for example, you want to study this subject.
Yeah.
And then you take this assumption and then you try to work in this environment that maybe after your degree you
Yeah.
will be,
Yeah.
and experience that first before
Yeah.
truly committing to 3 years or 4
Yeah.
years in that degree.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And also in a school environment, work environment, people treat you very differently.
Mm.
So in a school, I think in most Singapore public schools, like throughout primary school to like polytechnic or JC, we're in a very sheltered, comfortable environment.
Yeah.
Of course, we are being pushed academically, but I think sometimes it's a lot of us don't have to set up of our personal boundaries. And at a workplace, you are expected to step up. You're responsible for a lot more things.
Yeah.
And so then you get to know your own limitations better, your own strengths and your own like weaknesses better too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so, like for you, you would say that after seeing the downside of the degree, you still truly want to commit yourself to taking a degree because you really enjoy
Yeah.
doing the work that you do, knowing that that's the downside.
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe people who haven't have the job work experience wouldn't know the downside, and if the downside is way too big,
Yeah.
then maybe they should rethink what they
Yeah.
should study,
Yeah.
commit themselves for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for M, you didn't further study, right?
I wanted to continue my studies, but I realized that the current job is something that I really want to explore.
Hmm.
So I decided to stay on for another year before I pursue my further education.
So
Yeah.
what's the thing in your mind right now? The
Just like what Kara said, what are you going to do with a philosophy degree?
Oh, so yours
is
I
philosophy.
really thought of
Yeah.
pursuing philosophy.
Yeah.
If not, most likely something to do with writing, so maybe
Mm.
communications.
Hmm.
So these are the two degrees that's in my head.
And after you work or still working,
Yes.
has that changed or are you leaning towards one over the other? Still,
I think it has.
it's a big question.
I think it has spurred me to want that degree even more.
Which one?
Philosophy. I think it's I like both. I
Okay.
think after working full time, I
Yeah.
realized that what's really important, like what Tara said, it's really about whether or not you find fulfillment in the job and whether or not you think you have grown personally and professionally. So
Mm.
I think like after I've worked in a proper job,
Yeah.
I think I've come to realize that I really neglected like certain things I used to do, like for instance, like reading very rigorous texts that I used to enjoy a lot. And that makes me take a step back and wonder whether or not like this is the kind of life that I want to live, which is just working and not being able to stay in contact with what I originally loved, which is like philosophy. So I think in that aspect, I have decided that I really want to pursue something that I really enjoy, which is
Mm.
like philosophy, reading like very rigorous texts and like writing. Yeah, so that's more for me.
Okay, so it's still a question to answer for yourself later, whether
for
it's the
myself,
philosophy
maybe. Yeah,
or writing.
comms.
Outcomes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong. So like now that Staple have launched, does it mean that I can go on the website and I can buy it and it can ship to me in like 2 weeks? Is that where is that right now? The stage?
Yeah, we currently have delivered our stocks to most of our stockies. So it's currently stocked at Emporium of the Modern Man, which has an online store and also a physical store. Also at Books Actually. We're also working out a deal with Allscript, which is a major magazine distributor in Singapore.
Yes.
Also Magpie Magazines. We dropped off at Magpie Magazines. So Magpie Magazines is also available online.
Yeah.
We'll also have our own web store, but that will come out by the end of this week. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So yeah. So
quite quick.
yeah. So we're trying to. That's what we're trying to
Yeah,
work
trying
on
to
right
iron
now.
out the
Actually,
details.
iron out the details for the website and
Mm.
also shipping and like online sales and how that will work out.
Mm.
Yeah, so we are also trying to get distributed in the UK since 2 of us are based in the UK. So yeah,
So that's your job when you go back.
yeah,
to
that's
the-
our job. So we're definitely gonna go knock on doors and like, go to different bookshops and ask if they're keen to distribute the magazine. So yeah.
And if people would ask about Staple magazine, like how would you describe Staple in a sentence?
Staple is a social cultural magazine for the curious. Yeah, that's Staple in a sentence. Yeah.
Okay. And then if you have now 3 sentences.
Staple is a social cultural magazine for the curious, and
Each issue explores a different universal theme.
yeah.
Last
And,
sentence.
we celebrate diversity.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
with our content. So what we try to do, like I said previously, is we try to bring in international content,
Mm.
and of course we always have a certain amount of pages set aside for local contributors because I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but at
And
the
you
same-
consider local contributors Singaporean or the UK? Because you.
Singaporeans.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're all Singaporeans. So
Right.
yeah, like all Singaporeans. Even though like we're based in different places,
Yeah.
but the magazine, the main operation of the magazine, will be based in Singapore.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah. So local contributors, Singaporeans.
And can you tell us about like a little story of the idealization of Staple to like now? Like I mean, sort of like maybe a
Oh,
previous
yes.
story.
So it started.
Wow.
You talked about it at Starbucks, right?
Yeah,
So that was the
but
birth.
that was 2 years.
Yeah, that was
2 years, almost,
what happened-
almost
what happened in these
3
3 years?
years ago.
yeah.
And the original idea for Staple was a bit.
Was it Staple? Was it called Staple?
Well, it wasn't
Was
called
it-
Staple.
Or was it
it was
sort
a
of a
different
rough
it was-
idea?
Yeah, it was a different name.
Yeah.
And it had a similar idea in terms of bringing ideas together, but it was much more introspective, more of a journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was also due to the limitations of our resources.
Yes.
So the 4 of us were not designers, and we did not have a designer on board. So that was what we had in plan.
Mm.
And soon after we had that thought, we all went on internship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like internship took up a lot of our time. And so even though we wanted to get the magazine out and get it started, and
So it
stuff,
was a magazine already.
it was
Like, I mean,
it was more of a journal.
journal.
Yeah, a
How would you
journal.
describe a journal?
It was called Hours. So
Yeah.
it's OURS.
S.
So it's a much more
Introspective.
introspective kind of journal that you want to
Okay,
do
so journal is
across.
more like when you write it, or is it?
No, it's the same. It's the same idea.
It's like you print it. It's a book form.
It's a book form. Yeah, it's like it's a
Yeah.
magazine form. It's just like much more
Much more
text.
text.
less
Requires
words.
more time for you to sit down and
and-
digest it.
Yeah.
Okay, so less pictures. Okay, so there
Yeah,
we go.
much
Less
more
okay.
text, yeah.
Yeah.
So
much more
hours, and then you got the internship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So
Went on pause.
yeah, it was on
Yeah,
pause.
on pause.
On pause for like a long time. 'Cause we really want to get back and like start working on the magazine, but we just didn't
Yeah.
have enough time.
Yeah.
And it was also because we had to apply for our universities.
Mm.
Yeah, so that we were really swamped. And then I was working at Michael Jensen Gallery, which is based in German Barracks. It's this German gallery. And then one of the solo shows that I worked on while I was there is a Singaporean artist called Wong Lip Chin. So he had a solo show called Thousand Dimes, and I actually worked with him and his brother Aaron, who runs the design studio we're actually having this podcast at.
Right, Liba
Liba
Studios.
Yeah, correct.
Another plug for it.
Yeah. So both, I worked really, really well with the both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially Aaron. Yeah, and usually for myself, when I was working at the gallery, a lot of time my contact was just with artists.
Mm.
So rarely I worked outside with designers. Or sometimes we work with photographers on one-off basis, but it's mostly to document the exhibition.
Yeah, so you get to meet this
Yeah.
great designer that you love.
Got Aaron, and we hit it off immediately. And he saw some of the stuff that I've done, and he saw that I did zine.
As in,
Yeah, and so he was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. Like, are you interested in publications? Like, what's
Yeah.
this about?" And I was like, "Yeah."
so you have already wrote some stuff.
No, I actually did a bit of photography on the
Oh,
side.
Yeah,
okay.
So, yeah, so I did like a zine, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, so you're interested in publication? What's up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." He was like, "Actually, I'm really interested in designing a publication. You know what? If in the future you ever had an idea and you want to realize the idea and you need a designer,
Yeah.
or you need help, consultation, art direction, whatever,
Mm.
let me know. We'll see. We'll work out something. We
Yeah.
can work out a partnership." And I'm like, the next text message, I was like, "You know what? I actually already had an idea."
Also, that was like then and there. Was
Yeah,
right
like,
at that moment,
yeah,
not
it
like
was-
2 days later.
Yeah, it was on text.
was on text,
It's
okay.
like, oh, maybe in a few years' time you might have like
So,
an
well,
idea.
actually,
Am I actually?
now that you say this,
Now that you say this, I actually do have an idea. He was like, okay. I was like, there's actually a few other people on board. I'm like, would you like to meet them? And he was like, okay, cool. You can ask them over to the studio one day. And so we met and we discussed about magazine. And he told us like, okay, look, this is how things work. And like when you're trying to push out a publication, you need to get this out. Like you need to get a website out. For
Right, so he laid it out for you.
Yeah, he laid out for you. What do you have to do to get to the physical magazine?
Okay.
Yeah. Are you gonna have an open call? Are you gonna invite contributors? So he put everything into perspective for us. And we're
Right.
like,
And Aaron had done this before.
and Aaron has worked on publications before,
Okay,
so he
okay.
has an understanding at least
Of the
from
process.
of the process of how it works. So from
This is great. If not, you'd be like
we'll be
meandering around.
lost,
Yes.
completely lost. So none of us are from the journalistic background or
Yeah.
design background, so that was a lot of help.
Hmm.
And so he was like, okay. And soon after we met, around 3 months later, Ping and I actually left for school.
Yeah.
But what was the idea when you left for school? Do you have a date yet, or
we knew that we
you guys
wanted.
gonna do it? You committed to do it.
Yeah, we were committed to doing it, and we wanted to push out the first issue, the pilot issue of the magazine by summer. So summer 2016.
Right.
So so that was our goal, and we had an idea for the magazine. So we knew it was going to be called Staple.
This is 1 year ago.
1 year ago.
Or summer 2016.
Yeah.
So summer 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So you
knew
left.
Yeah,
And you have this idea and you have
correct.
this date and
It's a
And they
social
left
culture
me, and
magazine,
I
and
was
that was it.
alright.
So we had like the idea like what Staple
Oh my
is
God.
going to be,
Okay.
what it's going to be like, and it's going to be contributor based. That was the idea and stuff like that. And we left, and since after arriving in the UK, we actually have Skype sessions
Right.
Every single week.
every single
And
week.
it's about like 4 to 5 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Aaron's also on the Skype.
no,
No, Aaron's
just
not
you
on
guys.
Skype. Just
just us.
just to settle like
Trying to-
what is the look. There are a lot of little tiny things that you don't consider when looking at a magazine.
Right.
So the look of the magazine, the
Yeah.
feel of the magazine.
So Aaron give you the question and
Yeah,
then
the
you,
question,
you
and
then
like-
you start talking about it.
Yeah, like you have to
About
fill
it.
up all these like answers, like
Yeah.
what kind of magazine will you look like? How will you look like? How even the size of the magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were questions that you have to like answer, and also how many contributors are you gonna get on board? How thick is the magazine gonna be? How many pages?
Oh.
Yeah, so stuff like that, and so we had Skype
Every week.
sessions every week. Skype should totally endorse us.
Yeah.
100% endorse
And the
us.
speed,
of
speed
the-
was good.
No,
Yeah.
because of the time difference.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
So
8-hour time difference.
yeah, so every
So
time
you were always gonna wake up
and I have
early.
to work, right? So
Yeah.
I have to work.
Yeah.
So
The only
immediately
time.
after like working, right, I have to like rush home and I have to like on my laptop. And my mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I have a meeting." Every single week, and my mom's like, "Are you going to eat dinner?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to eat dinner." So like I just have to eat dinner in front of them and we
Yeah.
talk.
Okay.
And we have lunch in front of us
Yeah,
too.
So your time
Lunch time.
is 7 p.m. and then over
No, it's like
No.
9.
9 p.m.
And then
and
for us
you.
it's around like 1 or 2.
Oh,
So by
okay.
the time the Skype meeting ends, it's around 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And you? For you, it's like
For
5.
us it's around 5 or 6.
And you guys don't have school. You guys were.
It's like on our weekends.
Oh, okay, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
That's what you say. Weekend.
So like a lot of people like going overseas, they're like, oh, one of the reasons why people want to study overseas too is because you have lots of fun and you can go out to like markets and
Yeah.
gigs.
What you
and
do on
concerts
the other
on-
weekend when you're
Oh,
not Skype?
yeah, but we like burn one of our weekend
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, burn all
It's
that.
on.
Only at 9 or
Yeah, only
morning.
at 9. Yeah, correct. Or if we want to switch it up, so for her during the day. So for
There
us,
was-
it's like 6 a.m. in the morning or
Oh
something.
No, but there was once it was like 7 a.m.
In the morning for her.
and night for them.
Oh.
So I have to wake up like, and I have to, okay, I need on my laptop again. And I'm
I'm
not awake, but I have to like look away. I'm
And
eating.
all of us are dead.
Yeah.
Right.
But we still have to like commit to the meeting.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are committed.
Yeah.
committed,
And
so
I
That's
think,
fantastic.
yeah, I think a lot of the whole way, like before we started the magazine, we met a few like printers
Mm.
Yeah.
and paper suppliers, and a lot of people they
You mean
knew
RJ.
that. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
They knew that we're not from the industry.
Yeah.
They would say, "Do you really want to do this? Do you know
Yeah.
it's a lot of work?"
That's fantastic. They're asking those
Yeah,
questions
yeah.
because you know it affirms your decisions.
Yes.
Correct.
And it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we
do
really
it.
wanna do
Yeah.
I'm
it.
gonna show you that I can do it.
Yes, right. And it's I understand totally where they're coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because it's a lot of work, and we're all
Yeah.
based in different places, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Are you sure? Do you know the amount of work that has to go into a magazine?" I'm like, "Yeah." Is this just like a one-off issue thing? Like, you know, you guys might just like after a year.
But they were
phase,
very
like,
nice. They were wanting to help you because
Yes,
they
yeah,
tell those
yeah.
things because they want to help.
Yeah, they wanted to help, and they understand, and so they're like, "Okay, like if you guys are so committed to it, and you guys want to create a sustainable business, you want to do this for like a long time,
Mhm.
we are on board to help you.
That's
We can give you
fantastic.
advice, what kind of paper you should choose. So I mean, we have been very, very, even though it's a lot of hard work, we have been extremely fortunate
Yeah.
that everyone has been so helpful. And it's not only Erin. Erin has another partner from the studio also. So she also has helped us a lot.
Yeah.
And like even with the launch, people like our friends came aboard, like Nigel that I mentioned previously, who owns his own record label. He came
The
on.
cigar guy.
Yeah, middle class cigar.
Yeah.
Only on tape.
Yeah. So he did a DJ, like a short DJ set.
That's fantastic,
Yeah. So like everyone has been so like
The
encouraging.
community is so supportive.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
are very, very thankful for that.
That's great.
Yeah. Even though like we popped out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really,
We
literally.
popped out of nowhere like this 4 guys, like you guys didn't even go to design school. Where were you this from?
Yeah.
But some of them were your friends even previously, lah.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of them are our friends. But
Mm.
even though like I mean, for myself personally, I don't expect my friend, like you're my friend. So being my friend is just like, I appreciate your presence, your
Your time.
and like hanging out with you.
Conversation.
Yeah, I
Mm.
enjoy like
Your
hanging out with you, and that's
presence,
why
yeah.
you're my friend. So I
Mm.
don't expect my friends to help me out with any kind of like other initiatives that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we might not share the same interests.
Yeah.
Or you might not have, you might not cross paths, or might
Yeah.
not have the same opportunities. But like everyone has been so like, even though they are not photographers themselves, or they couldn't offer their services as professionals, they willingly offered their time, and they're like, oh, do you need any help with packing?
Yeah, packing. Oh,
Do you need any help with like installing? Yeah, running errands. We can help you run errands.
Yeah, we can buy you dinner. Oh my gosh.
We can buy you dinner.
At launch night, it was so hectic that we couldn't like eat.
We didn't
just-
we didn't have dinner.
Yeah, we were just
Yeah.
walking around talking to people, and our friends just bought us like food and said, "Okay,
You have to eat now in
If
front
you're
of
not
us.
eating, I'm not letting you go. Let's say like 1 month at least. You know,
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. Like it really is
So I think we're very,
Yeah.
very thankful
for
for
our friends.
and also our family. Like
Yeah,
they've been very
family.
supportive. Yeah.
Did your parents read the magazine?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were did they understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, my parents are not huge magazine readers.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. And my parents are also not within Staple Magazine's target market.
Yes.
Yes.
But they read it because you did it, right?
Yeah, correct. But they're quite impressed.
I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, and they're very proud.
Oh, very nice. And for your parents,
Yeah, my
and
parents she immediately
that's
ordered
why
like,
that's why you're skyping, right? That's why-
yeah. She immediately ordered like, "Oh, give me 2 more to give your aunts." Then I'm like, "Oh, okay."
yeah.
Yeah, so like supportive.
And
Yeah.
also, since Ping and I have been back for summer, we haven't been home. We've been going home at like
yeah.
3-4 a.m.
Oh,
For like the 2 weeks up till we have to submit our final artwork to the printers.
Oh,
So those were really those were crazy times.
Mm.
Yeah, and so like my parents and her parents are finally like, oh, okay, so this is why you were up so late.
Yeah.
So they
not
finally-
adulting.
so they finally got to see the product.
Yeah.
So I think
That's fantastic. And what were your superpowers? And I mean that because then how you differentiate who to do what in
Oh.
a sense. Yeah.
So should I talk about yours?
Yeah, I think you guys should, say nice things to each other.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
let's talk about Ping.
Okay, that's
Ping,
okay. Yeah,
Ping,
so we can
Ping
give
is
some
not here.
credit to her.
Yeah, Ping
Which
is
is
not here, but
Yeah, her heart is here with
yeah,
us.
how to do it first. So she's a very good people person. So so she's actually the comms director. So she handles a lot of like if we have any collaborations. For example, we collaborated with Emporium of the Modern Man. So it's a concept store. So together with them, we actually produced a limited edition tote bag. So she actually liaises with the owner of the store. She does a lot of liaising and meeting the people, and also like she does a lot of liaising with these people. And she's a great people person.
Mm.
And I think when you meet the two of us will seem a bit more introverted at
Yeah.
first.
Compared
Well,
to-
she's very open, and like a lot of times like she helps us break
bring
the
the
ice.
ice. Like really, she does.
When we think someone new, so she's always the person that asks the questions, and we'll be like tagging along, like yeah. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Yeah, and she has a lot of energy in her.
Mm.
So I think a lot of times we feed off her energy. So she's always like, good morning everyone.
Yeah, she's like the brighter person.
Like
Yeah.
the joy.
Yeah,
joy of
she's an idealist.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an idealist, and I think you need people who are a
And
bit.
Ping is with you right now in London.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Same
So-
course, same school.
No, different.
Oh,
same course. She's also studying history of art,
Yeah.
but she's studying at Christie's, the
Okay.
auction house.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's where. So it's
The auction house teach.
yeah. So they actually have an educational department.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and so that's where she studies history of art.
Okay.
So the approach that our school has towards art history is actually vastly different.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I think all of us are very different. So Ping, I
Mm.
think she's a people person.
Yeah, and then
So I think for Emily, she's very good at logistics and numbers and getting things down. Yeah.
getting things
I mean,
done
like,
on
yeah,
down.
yeah, getting things down in terms of like
Oh.
these are the things that needs to be done,
Right.
and like processes and like
Mm.
structure,
Mm.
and like making sure that we are on time. Yeah, and even though Emily she actually was working full time, she always makes sure that she is like she knows what's going on and she is updated. She'll always call. She always give me phone calls at like 10 p.m. at night and be like, "Hey, I was not around for meeting. Please update me like what's going on." And like she works 5 days a week, so her 2 off days she spends it on Staple. So it's like it takes up all of her time, and she's always very committed and she always gets her job done, and like we can always rely on Emily on that. Yeah. And also when we are away, she's like the person in contact in Singapore.
Oh.
So yeah, I think
For Clara, she is very reliable, as you can tell. She's always on task. She's the one that's always telling us what needs to be done.
That's
and-
kind of like what you do.
I think I always tell people what needs to be done, and she put the processes in place.
Okay.
Like we
Yeah,
should do
so
it
we
this
kind of-
way, so
yeah.
it makes more sense.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you came out with the idea of to do the thing.
So I do the to-do list, and
Then
then
she'll
she
be
look
like-
at the to-do list and
and
like,
project
okay,
make
yeah,
sure that we
Yeah.
get it
Can you
done.
do this or like
and this is how we should get this
yeah,
done.
this shouldn't be done. Like
Yeah.
you know, so we kind of like, that's how
Prioritize.
we
Like work back and
communicate.
forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clara is very reliable and she's really like one of a kind. I really don't know how to put it. She's so humorous. Like just look at her. She's so funny, but at the same time, she's so intelligent. Or maybe it goes hand in hand. Like the fact that she's intelligent is just such a humorous person. Yeah.
Yeah.
You enjoy talking to her very much because she's so entertaining and at the same time
Am I?
yes, you are. You are very intelligent. I don't know how else to put it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's
Thank you.
she will be the editor.
Yeah.
She is the editor in
Yeah.
chief.
Yeah. Any hidden talents or knowledge you acquired along the way of the journey of Staple that you wouldn't have necessarily got it. You know.
I think okay, in terms of knowledge, like time management is very important. Also being very sensitive to the people that you work with. Not everyone, because I think there is a saying that you should treat people the way that you want to be treated, but not everyone wants to be treated the way that you want to be treated. You get what I mean? So you can't treat everyone the way that you want to be treated, because everyone have different like sensitivities, or they react to things differently. Or if you want to put a message across to like Emily and Ping, they react differently to how you say certain things.
Okay, so let me just dig it more into that because
Yeah.
like with friends being
Yeah.
business partner.
Yeah, correct.
You know, usually there's a huge strain
Yeah,
on and
correct.
causes problem in the relationship. With
Yeah.
that, you know, if there's any advice you like
Yeah.
to give.
I think all of us, we are very honest to each other.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
important to
it's
be
a
honest.
very honest relationship.
Yeah.
I think.
How can you foster this honesty?
Sorry.
How do you foster?
Foster. So how do we foster? I think
just tell.
it's-
You just
Just tell. I mean,
lead
Yeah.
by example.
you need to care about the relationship much more. You care about your own pride and ego. I
Yeah,
think that's when you can be very honest to your partner.
yeah,
That if you are unhappy about certain things, you can be honest to them. I mean,
yeah,
because the only way for them to improve or to change or for this relationship to go on is when you are honest to the person so that the person know and can do something about it. Yeah. So I think a lot of times that's how we
yeah. Or
And,
sometimes I think like we are very reluctant to tell our friends because like we are worried about how they will feel or how they will take. So we're very reluctant to give criticisms to our friends. But I think we we have been working together for a long time before Staple Magazine, and even through our school group projects, we understand that it is if something needs to be said, it needs to be said, because if you do not say your grievances, or like if you do not think that whatever we are working on is the best that it can be, it's only going to get worse. Because if the project turns out in a way like it doesn't turn out well, then you will bring up things like, oh, actually I wanted to say that we shouldn't have done this, but I didn't say it.
I think one thing about us
that's the worst thing to do.
I think one thing about us is that we never said things like, oh, I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you so,
It's
like
the worst
previously.
thing,
That's
right?
the worst you can
Yeah.
say. I mean, if you were so convicted to what you are believing in, why didn't you push for it? Why didn't
Yeah.
you say that, I think if you really don't do this right, this will happen?
Yeah.
If you really believe in it, then you should have done that. Instead of at the very end of the day, this thing happened and you just blame on your partner and say, I told you so.
Yeah.
I mean,
when-
it doesn't improve the
Yeah,
situation.
correct.
It doesn't improve the relationship.
yeah.
It's just a very toxic.
So it's just being honest and
Yeah.
having maybe a set time and space to just let each other know what your
Yeah.
grievances
Yeah.
and what ideas
Yeah.
that should not be carried
Yeah.
forward, and your reasons
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah, also especially with something like Staple, when it takes up so much of your time, it's very important that because since we're back, all the time that you meet each other is always about work. It's important that you set time aside work to be friends. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're a business partner like 3-4-7. So where is the time left to be friends? So you
Mm.
always remember that you are.
How do you do that? How do you set time for that?
So
So you
example
can
like.
schedule another hour for just friend talk?
No, so example, certain times we'll be like, okay, enough of work. We're not going to talk about work
Yes.
anymore. Or like,
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about work. Like,
Yeah.
example, during dinner or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we'll try to avoid that. But sometimes, like, it's unavoidable that during dinner, we'll be like, oh no, I just got this email. Like, how are we supposed to settle this? And
Yeah.
that's unavoidable. But a lot of times when it's too much, we'll tell each other, okay, like, that's it. For the day, we're not going to talk about work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about do you have found any hidden talents or acquired?
Hidden talents.
Well, I think her tolerance is actually quite high.
You, my hidden talent, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think in terms of working style, my tolerance is pretty high. Like, I think I believe in open communication. Like, I believe in being honest with each other. Like, if you're unhappy about certain things, you should just say it. But also at the same time, I believe in tolerating like each other's quirks. Yeah. So some people maybe they are just a little bit more sensitive to the certain way you speak. So you should just be a bit more like careful. But not to say like any one of them are, but during crunch time, everyone's very stressful.
Yeah,
So you just have to be a little bit more like
Aware.
aware of your
how you
surroundings.
communicate. I
Yeah,
guess.
because it might come across as very arrogant, or it might come across as very
Being very aggressive.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in terms of that, I realized I have quite a lot of tolerance for.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
I
when
mean,
you're
she
just
realized that,
yeah.
and she told me I have that.
Yeah, sometimes like it's crunch time, you're just running out of patience. and
Yeah.
instead of saying something nice, you just like, oh, go reply that email. And saying like, oh, sorry, Emily, can you take some time out to reply this email? And because you are stressed out yourself, and you're
Yeah.
like, hey, can you reply that email? And you just
Because it's so
throw it
much
out.
faster. It's
Yeah,
so much
it's
more efficient.
It's so much more efficient
to
to
just say
not be
hey,
kind.
Go, yeah,
You know?
go
Mm.
go reply.
Being
that
nice
email.
takes works.
Yeah,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
nice is work. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, well, like looking back, like what advice would you give yourself, like when embarking on Staple? Is there any advices you give?
In terms of a magazine?
I mean,
specifically, or
yeah, like before you embark on this journey, is there any specific advice, things to look out for? I mean, each of you guys can tell yourself.
yeah. I think
To you, when you're 18, when at the Starbucks, like, you know.
yeah, I think because a Staple magazine seems so simple, like it's just a book, simply a
Pictures
book.
and words on the
pictures
paper.
and words. But what I think a lot of people do not know is how many people are involved in making a magazine happen. And we thought that we could handle it just the four of us. And even though, okay, fine, you need a lot more help from other people, it's also about knowing how to interact with other people.
So now you were to go back in time
Yeah,
and meet this 18-year-old Clara, what would you tell
Yeah.
her?
I think
You only have like, a short time, 5 minutes with her.
5 minutes.
Okay, or 3 minutes. Whatever.
Choose wisely who you're going to work with.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, and always like know who has helped you, and know that they are helping you. They are taking time out of their days to help you. And so there are a lot of people that you have to be very grateful for, and you're in a very privileged position that you're able to do this, because not a lot. I know a lot of other people who have similar ambitions, and they are not. They are just they don't. They are not as privileged, or they do not have
the right
the
resources,
right resources
to
or
do it.
opportunities to do it. So
Yeah.
I would tell 18-year-old Clara to feel very lucky.
And with the first advice, which is choose wisely,
Yes,
is there any like choose wisely? Great.
Yeah. Know that the people that you work with in terms of this magazine are people you're going to work with for long term. Yeah. So you have to make sure that it's very important that everyone feels the same way, or feels are equally as passionate, or sees the same value in Staple Magazine. For example, even if working with Aaron, I want to work with a designer who believes in us, and it's very important to work with people like that. So I think that's one of the things that I would tell my 18-year-old self.
Your 18-year-old
I
self.
think one part of what Clara said, I really fully agree, which is we are in a very privileged position to be able to do this. I think I would definitely tell myself that. Yeah, and also to remind myself that anytime that one person is not doing his or her job, you have to consider that his or her job will fall onto someone else's shoulders. I think a lot of times it's not so much of a conscious decision to want to not do your work. It's much more like it's a struggle to do certain things. So you will hesitate. And in those hesitation, I think I will tell myself that you need to realize that people have to cover up for your hesitation.
Yeah.
Because even for myself, because I'm working full-time, right, there's a lot of times that I felt very thankful, but at the same time guilty in some sense, because my peers or rather my partners have to be here during those times that I'm not here. So I think like if I can tell myself that would be great. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I read somewhere, hesitation carves time out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Interesting.
really does.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, so let's talk about something lighter.
Yeah. Oops. Serious. Serious talk.
I mean, maybe just let's talk about the marketing of the magazine. What are some of the best efforts that you have done? Some of the best things that you did that reaps the most rewards, and some of the things that maybe you shouldn't have done it in the first place.
I think people always like when they can interact. So be it physically in real life or online. So example, I think one of what really paid off for Instagram is leading up to the release of our magazine. We did like a short 5 questions. So we just sent it out to a few people that we thought were interesting on Instagram. Like, hey, so what do you think about youth? What is your favorite like hangout spot after school? What's your greatest fear about youth? Like short 5 questions, and we picked those and we just like put those questions into Instagram posts, and we actually posted those. And so I think a lot of people found those very interesting, like what other people think of youth and stuff like that. And in terms of the launch, the installation did very, very well. So the installation that we have is actually called A Curious Thing. So we actually made this installation. It's made of wooden panels. So on the sides, we actually have 4 reading booths. They're inspired by Japanese ramen booths. So when you go to Japan, like there are certain like ramen shops that actually have personal booths where you can go in and have your ramen and also alone. So it's also, we thought that it was a very conducive environment, and a lot of magazine launch, people end up just hanging out, socializing, and they do not have enough time to
Or space.
or space to read the magazine. So the reading booths actually set aside a certain amount of space that people can actually go in alone or with 1 or 2 friends to check out the magazine and actually really dig into the content of the magazine. So I think that's good. And also, the installation also acts as sort of a physical manifestation of what Staple is. So what Staple tries to do is bring different ideas together, so different social cultural ideas. So we encourage people to bring an object that they own. They drop it in on one side, and then on the other side of the installation, they can collect it after 5 minutes later, is a different object, or the object reinvented. So actually inside the installation, there are 4 different people who are working on the object. So when you drop something in, they'll actually reinvent the object. add bits, take away bits, and at the end you might get something different out. So the whole idea is to explain that Staple works as the installation, as the curious thing. Because we're all curious people. So that's what we do to ideas. So we bring different ideas together, we reinvent them so that new definitions on youth, on objects of delight, on different things that we explore can be formed. So I think a lot of people reacted pretty well to it.
And is there things that you wouldn't have done so maybe?
I think don't get too caught up with like social media.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. Like a lot of brands are using social media well, but also you have to make sure that the amount of time that you spend on platforms like social media are actually reaping benefits. So are people who are following you on Instagram, will those people actually buy the magazine at the end of the day? Yeah, you have to make sure that the amount of time that you spend on it, it's
Justifiable.
It's justifiable. Yeah, correct.
Okay, and how do you spread the words of the open call? Just on Instagram, social media?
Yeah, just on social.
Someone entered the room.
Yeah.
A mysterious lady walked past and she flew out the room. Flew by.
Yeah, so how we did it is just through social media and also through, I think one way we did it, which is quite interesting, is that we actually emailed
Directly?
universities.
Ah,
Because the fact that our team is on youth, we want the magazine to be a reflection of the youths today. So we want contributions, and the fact that Clara and Ping, they are university students themselves, so we wanted to reach out to these youths. So what we do is that we email to different universities in UK and also
in UK, Singapore, in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got submissions from them.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So
So you
the
email
Danus-
telling them to spread the word, sort of. Is that what it is?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we just emailed different faculties and we said them like, hey, this is our open call poster. We are like a new magazine from like Singapore, and I'm like, if you think this would interest your students,
Yeah.
blast it out.
Right.
If not, I mean, we're cool with it. Yeah. So like my school is really supportive, and there's like so many thousand students at my school already.
Yeah.
So they actually blast out the email for us. They're like, yeah, definitely cool. Like if we have a student that's doing a magazine, we would want like other students to be part of it, to join in and help out if it's possible. So yeah.
Why not a web article
Yeah.
instead of print?
I think we appreciate
Yeah, we
the
should
printed
appreciate
matter.
printed matter. And it's also because, like, for us, in terms, if you want to go back to the circulation of ideas, it couldn't have happened without print.
Yeah.
The invention of print. Yeah. And, like, say even, like, religious texts, like the Bible or the Quran, it wouldn't have spread as far as it did or as it does now without print. Yeah. So we just believe, we believe in print
Appreciate.
and we appreciate print. And for Ping, she believes in the tacticality of print. Yeah. So there are certain experiences which you form with objects that cannot be replaced. And that is also one of the things that we try to explore in the next issue.
Yeah.
Like, why is it that inanimate objects can give us happiness?
Mm.
Or why is it when you buy a new book? Or for some people, they collect sneakers. Why is it about sneakers that makes you happy?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
So we just leave on that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a good,
leave
good
on that
hanging,
note.
cliffhanger, right? So a quick question for both of you guys. Any books or documentaries to recommend? Everyone start first.
So currently,
Yeah.
because we publish magazines, right?
Okay.
So of course, like we read magazines, we appreciate magazines. So currently, I'm reading this magazine called The Happy Reader. It's a collaboration with the Fantastic Man editor, which is Seth Amina and Penguin House. So what they do is that every issue they feature someone who is a prolific reader. So the person reads a lot. So through this interview, you find out like these people. For instance, the current issue I'm reading is actually Hans Ulrich Obrist, who is a curator, a very famous curator. So all thing about them, all these busy and famous people is that they are so busy and they are constantly trying to think, how do all these people find time to read? Yeah, especially when you're a reader, like which is myself, I read quite a lot. So
Does it explore that question?
So they explore that question like where do they read, when do they read, and what do they read? Yeah. So at the very end of the interview, they will actually have like books that the person will introduce you to. So this magazine is a lot of like targeted towards like people that likes to read, and it's a good starting point for you to actually explore more books.
Yeah.
Through this little magazine.
Documentaries?
Not so much
Not
of
much.
documentaries for me. Yeah.
Clara?
Yeah.
Books or
So for
documentary?
me, books.
You finally
Fictional book.
Like, time for her
this
rant.
book that she has this book she's been trying to like tell all of us to
yeah,
read.
like
Okay.
it smashed my like top books list, so it's number 1 now.
Okay.
It's The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand.
Anne Rand.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
Oh,
Great,
shit.
yeah, thank
Yes.
you. Thank
damn.
you. I've been like
Ayn Rand.
preaching to everyone that they have to read the book.
Anne
and-
Rand, I found it's the
The
architect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
So she's actually also a philosopher. So she founded a branch of philosophy called Objectivism, and I think it
It's
really
a very big book.
it's
Yeah.
a very
So I can understand why people would
it's-
not want to read it.
it's intimidating when you first look at it. It's
Yeah.
around 800 pages, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but
Do you read any of her other books?
No, I haven't. I want to
Oh.
read Atlas Shrugged.
Atlas Shrugged. It's made into a sort of movie, like a terribly made movie, but I think the book.
The Fountainhead was a movie too, but
The Fountainhead was a
it's,
movie too.
in black and white,
Oh,
in a really long time ago. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So have to watch that. And
Yeah.
so The Fountainhead definitely.
Okay.
And one of the reasons I feel like I'm recommending to all my friends is because I see a certain quality that Howard, the protagonist in The Fountainhead, that he has a certain quality that all my friends share.
What's that?
And I think it's like resilience.
Resilience.
Yeah.
Like grit.
Yeah, resilience is also like, and it's also, he doesn't allow other people's definition of like success or other people's definition of how he should do things affect his own definition. So I think, to grow up in a world where everyone is trying to tell you how to think, what to buy, how to vote, to have this kind of, to stay true to your beliefs and your values, I think that's something that is very hard to find in people, and something that like I see in all my friends, and that's why I'm
That's
like,
why you are friends.
everyone have to read it. Yeah, and for a documentary, I recommend The Act of Killing.
The Act of Killing.
Yeah, so it's by Joshua Oppenheimer, and it's on the Indonesian massacre. There's a genocide in the 60s. So under Suharto's dictatorship, it started off as a anti-communism purge. So, but a lot of innocent people were killed. So what this guy did is, I think it took maybe 8 years to finish filming this documentary. So he went to Indonesia, and it started off as a different documentary. So he wanted to interview certain plantation workers, and so they told him about they told him this story about the genocide, and so he tracked the guys down who actually hated the genocide
Oh, no.
and who killed thousands of people. And so, but the interesting thing he found about this man was they showed no signs of remorse. They thought what they did was right,
Mm.
and they still believe in what they did.
So
Yeah.
do you find it terrifying or watching the?
It's not terrifying, but it's also very
Because you find these people that are insanely
and-
believing in
yeah,
the act of killing.
correct. And the thing is, I didn't even know about this Indonesian genocide, even though I'm Singaporean,
Yeah, so
and
close.
this is Southeast Asian history, and it's such a huge thing that I didn't know.
Got it.
So I'm like, how could I have missed that? And also of his approach towards the film. So these guys are they're film buffs themselves. So they like Western films. So what he did was he told them that he was going to create a film of the genocide with them reenacting it. Yeah. So the documentary.
Okay, you shouldn't sell too much, but
So the
Yeah,
documentary is
because people are gonna go watch it.
it's on 2 levels.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the
It's like
interesting
the
part.
exit through the gift shop kind of.
Yeah,
Meta.
it's
Yeah.
quite meta, but very interesting.
Yeah.
Even the visuals are very good.
Okay, advice for your 18-year-old self and places where you're at.
18-year-old self.
Oh, well, we should talk about it, right? I mean, the staple, but I mean,
Yeah.
this is more personal.
Yeah.
Is that?
Personal. Don't let other people tell you what you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, so 18-year-old you at Starbucks,
Yeah.
okay.
So 18-year-old me who really wants to pursue a supposedly useless degree called philosophy, I think just do it. Personally, for me, don't allow people to change your opinion on something that you see so much value in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
When you think of the word successful, who came into your mind and why?
I don't think to me success doesn't really matter. You don't have to be successful to to be happy, and I feel like success is something that you define on your own terms and you reach it in your own terms also. So, because like, I mean, we were having a conversation once, and like, I know I seem like a very happy person, but people who know me very well know that anger, like, I'm a very angry person. Yeah, I'm a very angry person, and I feel a lot of, like, when I read the news, I just feel like, why there's so much injustice and unfairness in this world? Yeah, like, so I actually, like, I feel like angry towards a lot of things. Yeah, and I
That's
think,
what spurs her.
yeah, and I feel like
to do great things.
at 18 years old, which has changed a bit, but 18 years old, my greatest anger was like the system. Like, I don't understand the system. You know, I don't understand how things work.
So your anger stem from not understanding, or your anger is just towards the system? I mean,
at 18,
then you look back
at
now.
18, not understanding.
Or about, it's
Yeah,
about
18, not understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, but now I still feel like there is a lot of like,
you're still angry.
yeah, I'm still angry because I feel like there are a lot of like injustice in the world.
Okay.
And like the world is not a fair place. Or
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I think like I think I'm like a sort of caught up existentialist. Like I believe that there is no meaning in life.
Okay.
Yeah. But at the same time, it upsets me or it angers me that my life will have no meaning. And I want it to have meaning.
So
Yeah.
you can create your own meaning.
Yeah, so you can create your own meaning, but I don't know if at the end of the day that meaning will
It's
stand
what-
for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think a lot of times it's trapped within this like circular thought. And then like sometimes people who don't know me or associates will be like, why you bother about thoughts like this? I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, so for me, I don't think like success is important. It's just like what is most important to me, I feel like and I feel like happiness is also not the most important thing. Yeah, it's that if you're able to live with who you are at the end of the day, I think that's the most important to me.
Em, do you have anything to add?
I don't
Or-
think I thought of anyone in particular.
Not even the guy at the happy reader? No?
Because I'm not sure if that is success. That's what success
Yeah.
means to him.
Or that what
Okay.
success looks.
Oh yeah,
success
yeah.
look like?
Or what does it look like? I
Yes.
think to me, I'm much more concerned about whether or not I feel a sense of fulfillment in what I do. Yeah. So and for now, for Staple, a lot of people think that a lot of people ask me if I'm excited about Staple, if I feel a sense of fulfillment. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not sure. The answer is no. I think there's always a lot of things to look forward to, and there's always the big question of what's next. It's at the back of my head.
Yeah.
That I cannot feel a certain.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel excited.
I think
okay,
as
there's
people,
more.
for both of us, like I think in layman term or like most people agree, you feel successful or success is when you have achieved something.
Yeah.
But like for us to reach this sense of fulfillment or achievement, we're always looking towards the next thing. Even though like previously that was our goal when we reached it, we're like, okay, what's next? We don't sit down to like
feel the
relish in our
success or
like
anything.
success or anything. When people are like, oh, right,
Yeah.
like you
How funny
launched-
isn't that what the advice that Neil Gaiman have and don't follow?
Oh.
Do you watch the commencement speech that he
No,
gave? Okay, never mind. It's
Okay.
good. I'll link that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah.
As in, I think because prior to the launch, right, a lot of people kept asking me if I'm like excited, if I'm looking forward to it. And
Yeah.
I didn't really think much about it. I just have to think, okay, what I have to do, what does I have to fulfill every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when all these questions are thrown at me, I really thought about it and said, no, not really. Like I'm really thinking about what is next after like the launch, what is next after this. So
Yeah.
I think in that sense, we are that kind of
Yeah, like it takes work. I think it takes
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
You
So
don't
I
really-
mean, like, and even like
Would you say that would be the most common misconception about you or your work?
perhaps that it actually requires a lot of time and
it
effort.
does.
Yeah, because I mean, even previously, I think I had that misconception that making a magazine I would not have thought that it required so much time.
I think
What is the improportional proportion?
Wow, quite.
yeah, I always knew. I think for me, I always prepare myself. I think I always knew that it's gonna be a lot of work, but you don't really know the extent of it until you come down to it.
Oh,
And
okay.
especially
Or you
the
always think
fact
you can
that-
handle it.
Yeah, especially the fact that it's our first time, you don't realize that you're not just doing the issue itself. You're doing the magazine as in what the magazine believes in, and the longevity of the magazine. You have to think about
Yeah.
much more than just
Yeah.
one issue.
Yeah.
And come down to it, I think it was quite.
Yeah.
It was like I was a bit shocked.
Yeah,
But at the
yeah.
same time, I realized
Were
how
you
much I can push
continuously
myself.
shocked?
Sorry,
Were you continuously shocked?
continuously.
That means I was like, I'll finish this and say, oh, there's a next bunch.
Yeah.
I think after the launch, I told Clara, like we were just walking towards, like we were just going to catch a film, like, and then I just told her like, oh, I thought like after the launch, we can rest a bit, but I don't think
seem
so.
like it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, and like she's like, yeah, I don't think so. It's gonna come soon. And we're like, yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
continuous thing. And we're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna
And also
keep
like
moving
when
forward.
the thing about being at 18, I think we thought that we didn't realize how big this thing is. Like we always just thought like, oh, it's a magazine, but a lot of people are coming up to us like, oh, do you realize how big this is? Like you're having a launch at
Yeah.
DEC. Like, you know, you guys are like trying to distribute to like one of the biggest distributors in Singapore.
Allscript.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
Allscript. Like, you know, like you guys are like trying to distribute this in the UK. Like, do you know how big this is?
Yeah.
Like, and we're like, oh, actually, we didn't realize. You know, you have been so focused on doing what you have at hand all the way that you never
Yeah.
realized that it's actually this huge thing that you're
But of
working
course,
on.
when you look back, you realize actually I've done all these little things quite a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
But still, we don't feel a sense of fulfillment from there. I think
Yeah.
we are always constantly looking
ahead.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
So now that
Not to mean that we're not contented. I think
yeah.
we are
We're very
grateful,
contented
we're
and we are very happy and we're proud of the magazine.
yeah, but
Okay.
Yeah.
it's just
So if
what's
anyone
next.
come up to us and ask us like, do you guys follow it? Yes, we
Yes.
did.
yeah.
yeah.
So on the note of looking ahead, looking back, if you have a time machine, when will you travel to, and why? What will you do there? So you can
Like,
travel
it can be
forward.
forward,
Oh yeah,
right?
okay, yeah, both. Yeah, both.
I always wondered how would I be as a old granny. So probably I'll travel to like when I'm 75 or like when I'm 80. I
Oh,
always
that means
wanted
like
to
the
see-
time machine has a limitation.
There's no
Like your
limitation.
lifespan.
Oh wait.
Oh no, you can go as far as you want.
And I'll still be
Oh,
myself too.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So it's like Back to the
Now
Future.
the question's a bit different.
It's a lot more broader.
Yeah, it's a lot more broader. I can just go to some different era. And
Oh, you can only go one. You can use it once.
Once,
You can't come back.
Oh, you can. Yeah, you come back.
come
So it's a round trip. But you need one ticket.
I have to rethink this. Maybe I'll
Okay, so,
I don't know. I think now is the best time to be. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, to be.
oh, that's quite
Yeah.
short, so you don't have a
So
long time.
I think like, for me, I think this I wouldn't travel backwards. I mean, there are a lot of things that like I study art history, right? That I appreciate historically.
You can meet the
You
artist.
know, yeah, but I don't know if like I will. What part of one of the reasons why I appreciate certain works is because I think it's because I've never met a person,
Okay.
and I always
So it's like you shouldn't meet
yeah,
your...
I think like just stay away. I think so I think and now is the best time
Okay.
to be alive. So
So you won't
yeah,
travel.
I wouldn't.
Never mind. I mean, you already
I would
answered.
travel to space.
Okay, let's just put it at Granny.
Yeah, I'll travel to space.
Okay. Granny, let's just Granny meet your old...
Yeah, I'll just meet
older
my
version.
own self and like I hope I'll be as wise as I hope I will be. So I hope I will discipline myself.
Are there any say or do you like to tell the audience? To
Buy the magazine.
buy the magazine.
Buy the magazine.
Yeah. In 1 week time, the web store. I mean, well, look after this, when this is out, the web store will be out.
Yeah.
And where can people find you on the internet?
You can find us at staplemagazine.com. That's our website. We are also on Facebook and Instagram, both Staple Magazine. So yeah,
Quite easy to.
drop us an email if you have any questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
It was
It's over. All right, thank you so much, guys, for staying throughout the episode. I'm really grateful that you guys are here listening to it. So, as always, all show notes, links, books are all on the website. It's bryanvictor.com. This is BRYANVICTOR.com. And in the coming weeks, lots of exciting guys are coming. We have Rafi Chua, the wordsmith behind Play and Bevel Studio. Also, Darnie Ng, for those of you who don't know, he is the #1 beatboxer in the world. Yes, #1 beatboxer in the world. So I'll see you guys soon.